Many restaurants in San Francisco, California, built sidewalk patios that allowed diners to eat outside. Now the city has suspended outdoor dining, and those patios, like everything else, are being colonized by the vast homeless population. The city has approved $5,000 grants to reimburse small business owners for their sidewalk structures, but is going to divvy the money up by race to advance the city's, quote, equity goals. Jason Rantz is a radio host and an expert on the dying cities of the West Coast. Jason, what's with this racially targeted reimbursements for these patios?
It's kind of what we've been seeing across the country. You slap the term equity in front of it, and basically it gives you a pass to say, we're going to choose who to help on the basis of race. And of course, if you were to say we're only going to help white people, there would be outrage. There should be outrage. That would be outrageous. This is social engineering. This is, we have too many successful businesses that are not diverse enough in San Francisco, and so we're going to help the ones that are struggling. The problem is literally every business in San Francisco, like much of this country, is struggling, at least if you're a restaurant. This is the perfect intersection of thoughtless COVID policy and progressive incompetence when it comes to homelessness. So first, you essentially force restaurants to pay out of their own pocket for these parklets, because that's the only way that they can stay open and actually survive. But then, using no data whatsoever to justify your position, you end up closing down the restaurants and the outdoor dining completely. What does that mean? Well, now you've got these structures where homeless people are hanging out, living in, shooting up in, using as toilets, and you've caused all of these problems now for these restaurants that they have to clean up. They're the ones who are going to have to take care of this. The city is letting homeless people just run amok. They're choosing only to help certain folks. It's just patently unfair.
Why do you think anyone is still in the restaurant business in San Francisco? Because you've got this, you stick the lockdown in, you take the lockdown out, in, out, you shake it all about, you do the lockdown hokey pokey, and the rules change. It's not even like hardcore lockdown back in March. We now have modified lockdown. You never know what the modifications for next week will be. Why is anyone still bother being in business there?
You definitely have a lot of restaurateurs and business people in general asking themselves that question, right? They came to San Francisco, like they come to so many different cities, with a dream of opening that restaurant, opening that business, and now they find themselves in horrible situations. They're still in a city that they love, a city that they're hoping will turn around. So many of us are, and they just don't know what that breaking point is. Unfortunately, due to the policies coming from whether it's London Breed over in San Francisco or any other progressive leader, you're sort of pushing people further into the direction of just deciding it's not worth it anymore. And that's a shame for these cities. The souls of these cities are on the line right now.
That's a good way to put it, Jason, a hole in the soul. Thank you very much for that report from our